Hello everyone, this is Logic, and I'm coming back a little bit just as a short thing, the epilogue to my hate series, if you will. Uh, because I forgot something as I was doing part 3. I mentioned as I was going in, because I don't know, I don't use the script, so I don't know where it's gonna go during, but I think it turned out all right. But I did ask a question that I will give you the answer to as best as I can, at least from my perspective. So this is like the epilogue to it, because I basically I asked, can something be done? Can it be turned around? And to be quite honest, I really don't think so. And I'm not saying, because of the way I feel, that we shouldn't try. That's not what I'm saying at all. In fact, I'm saying the very opposite. But this question has been asked in so many ways, on so many other, because this question ties into so many other types of questions, but it's the same basic question that we all have. This negative development, can it be turned around? And I don't remember which. I think it was about this New World Order thing, because as I believe it, I'm not big on the whole New World Order type of thing, but I have read up on it, if you will, or done my research, if you will. But I don't want to go there and use that as an expression. But I'm just saying that's where I think the question came up. And I answered honestly back then, and I have to answer honestly still, because this is, forgive me for a second, just had to get the cable out of, it was on the wrong place, and I'm, like I said, I'm really mindful of that, because I know how I want things to be, and if the cable is not in the right place, even that's gonna bug me, so sorry for that. But to get back, now my tongue went crazy again. But yeah, to get back on what I'm saying, the question came up in that sort of scenario, and I answered honestly then, and I have to answer honestly now, because I think the answer to that question ties into everything in that area, whatever the subject is. So, no, I don't honestly believe that we can actually do something about it in terms of right here and now. I don't think we can change it. I really don't. But I do think that it's our duty as a human being to try. I do think it's the duty of our leaders to try. Because if you ask me, the way I see it, if I were to become a politician, that would be my main objective, to make the world a better place. But unfortunately these days we have gone from the situation where the job, whatever the job is, used to be a calling, and now it's just a job. I talked to a watchmaker here in town, who I bought my watch from, and asked him, because he had his son there, and I said, so your son is trained in the field and he's ready to take over when you decide that you don't want to do it anymore? And he said yes, and I'm happy to hear that, because it means whatever happens here in town, we'll still have a watchmaker to go to change our batteries, have our watches fixed, buy new ones, whatever, it's still gonna be there. Continuity, basically. But like I said, I do believe it's every person's responsibility and duty to keep trying. Because even if we can't change it, we can slow it down. That's what we can achieve by trying to do what's good, and trying to shed a light on the things that are bad, like hate is one of. So, but yes, if you ask me straight out, can we stop it? No. We can slow it down, we can keep trying, we can do our best, and if we feel very strongly about it, we can try to enter into the political domain and literally change things from there. But like I said, you probably have to be on the insides to be able to try in a way that's going to have some effect. And you're going to have people behind you to do that too. You need to be basically a force to be reckoned with. To have great enough numbers that they have to listen. And in our country, I don't know what that means, but I would expect it to be, let's say, at least 1 million people. If you had 1 million people in your group, then maybe you could have enough clout to make that difference, make that impact. But like I said, I still think it's every single human being's responsibility and duty to try, because if we don't try, as I've said in another context, if we don't try, we've already lost. So that's my take on the topic of hate, and I hope you liked it. I have a different video coming up shortly. It's going to be a completely different type of video compared to the ones I just did on hate. But yeah, stay tuned for more from Beat No Logic, and thank you for taking the time to watch this one, even if it's just a quick video to answer that question that I did ask in part 3. So this one is going to be labeled part 4, but it's just a quick answer to that question where I mentioned, can it be changed? I don't know, I could be wrong, of course. I'm just giving you my personal opinion here. I could be wrong, maybe it can be changed, maybe it can be turned around. But these guys have been working the way they have for 300-400 years. So they have all the time in the world, because if they don't grow in numbers because of having children themselves and bringing them into their circles, they branch out in terms of friends. So they've always been able to stay around and at least not dwindle, but still have a presence in those groups, because there's not only one group. And that's why I don't even like the word Illuminati, because I did my research on that too, and I just call them the 33s, because it's a way of thinking, basically. It's a philosophy. It's a religion. There's a God in there, but it's not the God we all know from the Bible. It's the God of this world. That's all I want to say on it. If you know your scriptures, you know who that is, you know. But I don't want to go into that, at least, you know, because I've already done it, and I had so much bullshit from that when I did that research and did that sort of work. So I've stayed away from it, basically. But the question is the same, whatever topic you come across. Those people are working with a certain agenda, and it includes a lot of things. Like someone would say, like I said in one of my videos, they would refer to something as a feminist agenda, but that's only a small part of it. Because like I said that time, that's the feminist agenda is part of it, because it's an attack on family, it's an attack on values, it's an attack on morals, it's an attack on the very fabric of the construct of how we coexist together as man and woman, as it's laid out from the beginning. And they want to make us believe that the other way was set out from the beginning too. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but I'm saying it's much smaller in terms of numbers. It's like 5% or 10% at the best, but in some places they want to try to make you believe, just because the population of that sort is so big, that it might be up to even 30%. But if you look at the normal population, it's actually a small thing. It's the, how do you call it in English? The exception to the rule, basically. So don't come and tell me that something like this is the norm. I'm not saying it's abnormal. That's not what I'm saying at all. I have my personal opinions about that, whether it is or not. But what I'm saying is it's not the norm, and they're trying to tell us that it is. Look at a show like called A Modern Family or something like that, where they're pushing this idea to us that it's part of the normal scenario, which is not. Because if it was, logically, those people would be able to have kids, and they can't. The only one who's been able to have kids was a breaking story at the time, and it was sensational and everything. But it turns out this so-called pregnant man was a woman from the get-go. So, still, my words stand. If it was the norm, they would be able to have kids and procreate. Maybe in the future they will be able to through some lab work and stuff like that. But that's a different story altogether. But back to the topic and the question that's been asked, which this epilogue is about. Do I think it can be changed or stopped? No, but it can be slowed down, and it's up to each and every one of us to make that difference. And with those words I leave you, and now it's final on the topic of hate. This is Bitnologic saying thank you for taking the time to listen. Hope you liked it, hope you got something from it, and hope you find it to be honest, at least from what I said, because I can only give you my perspective and the inputs that other people give me too. So I try to do my best to cover all the bases. I hope you think I succeeded, and I'll catch you next time, which will be quite shortly, because I have another video lined up, and it's going to be quite different if you compare to these that I did on the topic of hate. So again, this is Bitnologic signing out, saying thank you for taking the time to listen, and I see you guys later, and like I said, it's coming up shortly. And peace everyone, and take care until next time. Bye bye.